Hi, I am CagerOnTwoWheels and today I am at S-Drive Motos to test ride the BMW R1200 GS. At last, the BMW. Let's do a slow front to back because this will take quite a while. At the front we have a 19-inch rim, at the rear a 17-inch rim with 120 width at the front, 170 at the rear. Standard suspension is not inverted, but you do have radial mounted brakes and mesh brake lines. You also have, moving back, full LED headlamps with one little feature, which is, let's say you arrive, you turn off the bike and you have follow me home system on a bike. That's pretty funky. You probably saw me pressing here. This means this has a keyless system. The key is in my pockets. This bike in particular also has these handguards as an extra. It also has, well, let's go front to back slowly. You have these fat foot pegs which are way more comfortable than they look. These are really comfortable, seriously. This is the dynamic suspension thingy, which will, I think, adjust the suspension according to the road conditions. You have these side case holders, which look very nice, because if you don't have the side case, it looks like you don't really have anything around here. Look really nice. Top case holder and a lot of other stuff. And you can see here you have a ton of buttons. Why? Because this also has cruise control and keyless and dynamic suspension, which is what all these buttons do. What do these buttons do? Let's turn her on. I'm not going to turn the engine on, not yet. This is the cruise control, on, off, and then set the cruise control and reset cruise control and go more speed, less speed. This controls the daylight running lights at the front, on or off. When they're off, when you turn on the bike, the low beams turn on. This way, just these and not the low beams turn on. These two buttons are really smart, because this one, the upper one, changes the upper display. The lower one changes the lower display, where you can even have pressure for the front and rear tires. Which actually, I'm going to turn on the bike for a second here. Oops. Give me the pressure. Come on. As soon as you start riding, it gives you the pressure. I'm not sure why. Oh, 2.4 and 2.6. Okay. So I'm going to turn her off. So this is actually not that much. Emergency indicators, horn, and here you have the other suspension settings. Have to turn her on again. Here you can change the suspension settings from, come on, enduro to rain to roads to dyna. Dyna is the dynamic suspension, where you can change then on this side. You can then change if you wanted dynamic or dynamic road. Okay, so you can have automatic suspension on a more sporty setting or a more roadish setting, and even so you can then change it into enduro for some other riding. Okay, let's go into dyna. Okay, so these are the controls. You can see all the extras it has. Also has a GPS, which is controlled by this thingy here. I can't do it because there's no GPS on it. You have this windscreen, which has a really nice system. See, you can do this while riding, very easily do this while riding. I like this system quite a lot. I've actually ridden the bike already. This is at the end of the test ride. It's a really nice looking bike and a really nice bike. Although it does look a bit thin at the rear without all that side cases usually takes. Yeah, so let's take a look at her actually riding. Look what I found, a dynamic test track. So, bike is on dyna, I think, dyna, so it's full dynamic mode. Let's see how it goes. Zigzagging. This is a 250 kilogram bike, or 245 with oils in it. And it is agile. It is not super agile, but it feels quite a lot like my old NC700 due to this ridiculously low center of gravity. Meaning it's super stable, and while it shifts directions good enough, you do feel some inertia on it. especially here on the first part of leaning, unleaning, you feel a bit of the weight. But considering the massive weight of this, it's amazing. Because you ride this like a much lighter bike. It's not quite as light as my... Oh, I can't go straight, damn it. It's not quite as light as my Tracer. But this doesn't feel like a 1200 at all. It feels like a slightly fatter 700. The Tracer is very light, okay? But it feels... Well, it feels lighter than my XJ6, just so you can get a kind of a feel to it. That's a good benchmark. My XJ6 felt heavier than this one. Heavier steering and a heavier bike overall. And this, while it is on paper heavier, it doesn't feel heavier. Brilliant driving all around. Let's see how this goes on the test track. That sudden acceleration pause was the bike preventing me from doing a wheelie. I am in dyno mode, yes I am. Thought for some reason that this bike was a slow bike, probably because of the look of heaviness it has with all the top cases that they usually bring, and the way the older riders that buy BMWs usually ride, which is calmly. But truth be told, this bike is anything but. Okay, it doesn't have the insanity of an MT-09 or 10, but it is a 1200cc bike. And that wasn't even full acceleration, it was just like a third. You have to brake hard for every turn if you accelerate fully here. Look at this. Squeaking tires all around. And it's easy and a lot of fun. For the amount of money this costs, I was fully expecting it to blow my mind. And, well, to be honest, it did not blow my mind because I was sure it had to be very good, but it is very good. It is an excellent bike. Amazingly good. Again, for that cost, it better be. This one is 22,000 euros because it has all the extras. It has cruise control, it has the automatic adaptive suspension, electronic suspension, the GPS thingy, it has, what else? It has so much stuff. Seriously, so much stuff. Traction control, ABS is mandatory. It has all 3 packs. I'm not sure about the seat though. I think the seat could use an upgrade. It feels stiff. I'm doing this because these gloves are very thin. I'm tired from the Portuguese end to end, so my palms are in pain a bit. Should have brought some thicker gloves, but it's too hot for thicker gloves. These have no padding at all on the palms. Let's go on to enduro mode because of this bad pavement here. It has a lot of little gadgets for suspension modes. It has 3 modes here, which is dynamic or automatic or whatever. Electronics, adjustable something, just adjusts itself automatically to the road conditions. You have enduro, you have rain, and you have roads. And then on the dynamic automatic suspension thingy, you have dynamic and road. I'm on enduro, and what a difference this is from the other one that I used coming up. The bike feels much softer on these, although it does feel very wobbly when you're riding along normally. Enduro mode is definitely not for normal riding, because the bike just feels very wobbly. Not here. Here's awesome. Ooh, and the ABS also lets me skid a little bit more, I think. I know the accelerator allows me to do a little bit more wheel spin than usual in Enduro. I try that. But when you do a faster bend, it just goes all wobbly. Then again, when you go over one of these, it goes all awesome. Boink, boink. Let's go into Dyna and do some faster bends. How fast can I go there? Oh, I forgot to mention, it also has quick shift. And it has quick shift up and quick shift down. I completely forgot to mention this tiny little detail, which is awesome. You don't need a clutch to shift at all. Okay, at pedestrian speeds you will be using the clutch because, well, it's a habit. And if you don't accelerate, the upshift doesn't actually work. But when you start riding a bit faster, clutchless. Like now, see? No hands. Down. I think you can actually see my left hand on the camera, so you can see that I'm not moving it. Gonna have to be one by one. It's just such an easy bike. Feels faster than the Africa Twin, and also feels faster than the Super Tenere. I have no idea on power, I haven't researched that yet. As I said, I like to do little research on the bike so I don't go with preconceived ideas on what the bike is and isn't. But this feels faster and more powerful than both of those. Definitely nicer to corner than both of those. Off-roadish wise, I would expect it to be a solid third place, but I've been liking it so far. So let's go for this unpaved road. BMW guys are going to hate me for this, I'm so sorry, but this is an actual road, okay? It's not quite that bad. Let's go into Enduro. It's Enduro, come on Enduro, come on. Okay, we are in Enduro, we are standing up. See, even cars come through this. Let's get into second gear, not third. Oh, the quick shift is awesome for this, just like what I would like to have had on my Africa Twin test rides, the CT, so you don't worry about clutch when you're trying to upshift and downshift while standing up. When you don't have experience like me, it can be a bit too much, try to do everything at once. The quick shift here is godsend. I wonder if ABS turns off only at the rear wheel. I'm not going to try it. I don't want to crash a 22,000 euro bike. But look how nicely it copes with this. Oink, 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 oink. This is very, very... Look at the bike. I'm going to try and film the bike wobbling everywhere. And it's not harsh. It's just going up, down, up, down, up, down easily. I'm going to sit down. So that's why my BMW guy during the Portuguese end-to-end was riding sitting down while off-roading whenever he wanted, and we couldn't. Just stick this in Enduro and just go easily. Only standing up for the really harsh stuff. Dude, you're on the wrong side of the road, okay? This is very nice indeed. Easily as good as the Super Tenere, at least for this. Okay, maybe the Tenere is better for more aggressive stuff. Did feel more stable. This front feels a bit more movable or more moving, which is scary, to be honest. This felt more comfortable on this bike, but a bit more scary than the Super Tenere. Super Tenere felt more stable, but it was also not quite as comfortable as this. Then again, that bike feels a lot heavier. Maybe that's the problem. That's quite likely the problem. I also really enjoy the keyless system, which is really nice. Book, turn off, baby. And it's tall, but it doesn't feel quite that tall. Whew, I love the smell here, so fresh. Oh, the BMW guys are going to kill me when they see this. Maybe I should warn them? I think I'm going to stay very quiet about this one. But then again, this isn't much. You saw cars going through that. So if a car can go, any bike can go. And I have proved that by bringing an XJ6 FA full-fared bike here. So not much of an issue, and this should eat this for breakfast, and it did. But it felt much better than either the XJ6 or the Tracer, which is the whole point. I like it. I like it quite a lot. So now, in city riding. This is going to be just about the tightest little streets I can find for this bike. You might think, oh, it's a very big bike, it's going to be so clumsy, you won't be able to ride it in these... If I can manage to shift correctly, you won't be able to ride it here. It's impossible, it's too big, it's too clumsy, you're being too silly. Look at this. That's coming from the right, you dick. That's the magic of this bike. It's astonishing. It just works. It feels so light, even though it's so big and heavy. It just feels so light and so not big. Okay, granted, the feeling of enormousness is greatly reduced by the fact that I have this windscreen on its shortest position, and I also really like the way you can adjust it, because it's really cool. You can do it on the move, just rotate this. Now, how brilliant is that? Better than this only if it was an electrical thingy, which would be even better, but okay. Hey, let's do a stupid little turn here. And I am on Dyna Road, and if you think it's being too harsh on the accelerator for these slow speeds, you just put it into rain, where the accelerator goes very mushy indeed and goes much easier to control. If you are scared of dropping it, look how slowly I am and how slowly I'm doing this turn with no issues whatsoever. Let's get it back into Dyna, and it's in road mode, I think. Road. Okay, thank you. Coming from the right. So I have the right of way. Oh, let's go this way. See how easy it is? I just decided at the last moment, hey, let's turn right. Boink! There I go. On Turo, that's basically the width of this bike. With side cases, I don't think I would fit in there. I quite likely would not fit in there. So let's go again that way. Go here, right. I'm going to try to do this without pressing the clutch. No one's coming. I'm going to go straight here. So let's go right. Whoa, this is very skiddy. Very skiddy indeed. Okay, that's basically, see, it works in city here. So I'm now in enduro mode. It should be the softest. Why? Because I'm going to do something BMW guys ain't gonna like it, but very sorry. So, riding position, standing up, very nice, as good as the Super Tenere, which I love, which means it just fits me perfectly. The foot pegs are awesome. The bike itself goes really well. It's taking this very well indeed. I've done this with my Tracer and with the XJ6, so this should be able to take it easily. I'm going slowly on purpose. Someone's been filling some of these gaps. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to stop here to let the car pass. It's this guy. Oh, I'm owing him money. I forgot to pay for a tire repair. I have to go and do that. But yeah, this works very much better than I was expecting for such a large bike. Wow. This was like easy, super easy. I mean, Africa Twin kind of easy. So one of the features I really like about these bigger bikes is that they can have something I adore on bikes, which is cruise control. Funny thing about cruise control is this. Look, I'm seated on the pillion seat. Hi. I can actually test the pillion seat this way. The bike just rides itself. And I can even steer it from here carefully. Now I have to steer around these guys. Just make sure nothing happens. Nothing did happen, so off I go onto the pillion seat. I'm actually grabbing the pillion pegs, which aren't that easy to grab onto because my legs are in the way. So I can't grab around it. My legs are covering a part of it. Whoops, this slightly left, slightly right. Now, ain't this awesome for a big ride? You can go reading a book on a highway almost, which can be very dangerous though. Okay, enough fun, because this is actually pretty dangerous. I want to go to see how I have in terms of range. Date, exterior temp, engine temp. And just like a car, you tap the brake and it turns off the cruise control. Left and go. Range 74. Okay. Now that I'm arriving, time for last thoughts. What do I like? Engine's nice, very tame at low revs, but it can be a beast if you roll throttle. The brakes are great feel on them, very direct. As soon as you tap, they're already quite engaged. There's none of that, I might be braking a little bit or not, I'm not sure. There's none of that. You just press the brakes and you brake hard. Great feel like this, see? I like the quick shift, though I wouldn't pay money for it. It's nice, but well, it's something you can do without. I hate these two things. I never know what speed I'm at, because frankly I would much prefer a digital speedo, not an analog one. And this could be here, this big would be much better than the tiny little thing that is up there. I never know what speed I'm at or what revs I'm at. Never. Ridiculous. It's 2017, come on guys. Do this for me, please. But those are the only nitpicks. Basically, the rest of the bike is absolutely brilliant, as it ought to be for this price range. Frankly, this bike is just bleeding amazing. Ridiculously heavy, ridiculously tall, and also ridiculously easy to ride. Cager out. Check this cute thing. I'm going to accelerate. Look at the front. When you accelerate, the whole bike tilts left. It's not that much, but you can feel it tilting left. Very cool.